Hey, honey,
Yes, Barry?
let's get out of here.
Where are we going?
Where do we always go?
Fascina el viento, este ritmo de palmas, sin naturaleza, hasta encontrar la playa. Por eso grito al mundo, yo soy de Puerto Vallarta. Samba de Puerto Vallarta, noche de arrullo en el mar. Samba de Puerto Vallarta.
Hello, fellow travelers, and welcome to this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. I'm your host, Barry Kessler, and I'm just so happy to be introducing you to my favorite vacation destination. Hey, maybe it's even yours, and that's Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. That music you're listening to is performed by Alberto Perez, and Alberto is the owner of the Lapa Lapa group of restaurants. Those are the Lapa Lapa, Puerto Vallarta's oldest restaurant on the famous Los Muertos beach, and the El Dorado Restaurant and Beach Club right next door. So you can enjoy that fantastic view of the Los Muertos Pier, all lit up at night in beautiful colors, or during the day in its grand splendor for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, seated with your toes in the sand right at the water's edge. It's so romantic. It's so Puerto Vallarta, my friends. This week, we are going drinking. That's right. You're going to go meet Jorge Enrique Rodriguez Avalos. I know that's a mouthful, but Jorge likes to be called George. And Jorge is one of the owners over at Pinocchio's Bar, or Pinocho's Bar, I should say. And Jorge and his brother Felix run this very, very friendly place over on Lazaro Cardenas and Naranjo in the Emiliano Zapata neighborhood of Puerto Vallarta. But before we get to Jorge, let's see what's happening this week in Puerto Vallarta, the 6th of June, 2021. Finally, and it is not soon enough, Puerto Vallarta had her first rainstorm of the year on Thursday. Early, but very, very, very much needed. The town, the hillsides, the aquifers, they all need the rain. So it came and went, and hopefully we'll get more really soon. Puerto Vallarta celebrated her 103rd birthday as a municipality on the 31st of May, if you missed it. And if you were in town, you probably might have missed it anyway. There was a small fireworks show for those who were actually lucky enough to have been in the know, to have been notified, because, last year it was skipped altogether, just because of the pandemic. This year it was anemic, kind of cobbled together, but it was better than nothing. So, happy 103rd birthday to you, Puerto Vallarta. You don't look a day over 40. When I was in town about 2 weeks ago, I was talking with Ray and Sherry over at the meet and greet over at Nacho Daddy. And Ray was telling me that they were doing a lot of rooftop restaurants and rooftop bars, and I was noticing that, yes, he was taking lots of pictures and posting them on Facebook, and, I thought that was a pretty good idea, too. So I checked out one of the new restaurants that he told me about called the Seahorse. The Seahorse restaurant is, it's up on the roof where Bistro Teresa has been for the last couple of years. It's up on that rooftop, right above Starbucks over on the Plaza de Armas, right on that corner. And the chef and the new owner of the place, who is, by the way, he had never been to Puerto Vallarta. He just kind of landed and decided that this was going to be a good place to open a restaurant. I kid you not. So anyway, his name is Raul. He's Mexican, and he was trained in the Bay Area, up in Northern California, over in the Il Fornaio chain. If you know what they are, there's a lot of those restaurants still going in California, Northern and Southern California. Anyway, Raul is a great guy. It's a beautiful restaurant, and you'll be meeting Raul in a couple of weeks. But make sure that if you're in town, go up there and have a drink. Check out his restaurant, have dinner. There's an elevator, so there's no stairs at all, and it's beautiful. And you can catch a great sunset from there. Probably you might be the only people there if you don't hurry up and get there. Come on, get over there and check out Raul's restaurant, The Seahorse. I also checked out the new renovations over at the Hotel Playa Los Arcos, and they have done a beautiful job. They built a restaurant on top of their original restaurant. They still have the one underneath. The one on top is called Mar y Vino, which translates into English as Ocean and Wine. And you can access it by a little stairway that goes from the pool area up to there, or you can I think there's an elevator there. I'm pretty sure there is. And there's a long bar up there, and there is a shallow pool. It's about 6 inches deep. That's right, about 6 inches deep. You're not going to swim in it. You're going to walk in it. You're going to wade in it. It's really very pretty. It's got this mosaic tiles, blue and white mosaic tiles. And the tables and the chairs are all set up in the pool. Of course, you'll have to take off your shoes or your sandals or whatever you're wearing and roll up your pants if you're wearing long pants. And you kind of wade over to your table and have a seat and enjoy a perfect view of the Playa Los Muertos and the Los Muertos Pier. Now, if you want to keep your shoes on, you can do that. They have tables that are also set up around the pool. And there's lots of these wicker chairs and tables, and these little, they look like cages. There's these little privacy enclosures that go around the tables. It's kind of interesting. Anyway, I took pictures of the place, of the new and improved restaurant, and the original one downstairs, new and improved as well. I got photos of those. You can find them in the show notes at www.PuertoVallartaTravelShow.com. But it is really a lovely spot for a drink. Another great spot to catch a sunset. Obviously, you can eat there. It is not cheap. Don't drop your fork. You have to go fishing. But anyway, it's worth a stop for a bevy and a experience for that ambiance right there. Very, very nice, great job over at Hotel Playa Los Arcos. I am going to bring you an interview from there in a couple of months. Kelly's Por Favor Saloon and Cookhouse is now under a new manager, a new management and owner. She is Canadian. She is from Saskatchewan, I believe. We talked just for a few minutes, and I will be interviewing her next time I'm down. But she's decided to open up the upper level over at Kelly's Por Favor because there are new smoking regulations in town, and smoking is not being allowed on the sidewalks in front of some of these restaurants. There's a new smoking ordinance. It's really weird, but it is taking effect, and many local bars and restaurants are scrambling to figure out what to do. Because people take their cigarettes outside and have a smoke. But now they're being told, no, you can't go outside and smoke on the sidewalk. So very interesting. She's opening up that area upstairs so that people can actually smoke. We'll see. We'll see what's going on there. We will follow this up next week. We'll talk a little bit about this new ordinance. Now, today in Mexico is Election Day, and if you think that our elections are crazy in the United States or pretty much anywhere in the world, it seems like it's hard to keep alive nowadays if you're a candidate for office in Mexico. So far to date, 91 candidates for office have been murdered countrywide, along with many killed and wounded in the crossfire. Here is an article from Vallarta Reporter online. It says that in the 9 months of the campaign that there have been 222 incidents of political violence that have left 280 victims. 167 of them were fatal. The fatalities of them, 143 were men and 24 were women. It says here that the report says that 167 were murdered, and of them, 91 were elected representatives, which means that they were members of parties and candidates for elected positions. So, yeah, if you think that politics can be a dangerous pastime and position in Mexico, you're right. The pay must be really, really good, you know? Anyway, I have a link to that little article in the Vallarta Reporter in the show notes, and you can find it there. While I was in Vallarta, I'm always looking for something fun to do for you guys. And this time I had a really great time on the double-decker bus, the fun bus, the on-off bus. It was, if you've seen it, you'll notice that it is open on the, open air on the top. It's that double-decker thing going on there. And I was walking down the Malecon around 11 o'clock one night, and I spotted the bus, and I actually had walked past the bus a couple times during this trip, and I thought to myself, that sounds like it'd be kind of fun. So I walked up to the guy that was in charge, and I asked him, what's this all about? What was involved? And he looks me up and down. He says, "You speak Spanish?" And I said, "Yeah." So it's okay. So he looked kind of relieved. And then he proceeded to explain to me in Spanish that the ride takes about an hour and 20 minutes. Takes you from there where I was standing there on the Malecon, right across from the amphitheater. Takes you up to Olas Altas, and then turns around and goes north all the way to Puerto Mágico, all the way to where the cruise ships dock there. And then it comes back, and the ride costs 150 pesos, which is like, $7.50 US. Now, the route that it takes when it's going up on that big long ride is off to the side. It's not on the main thoroughfare, so it takes its time and kind of goes along that little side road that goes along the main thoroughfare, the 200 there, that goes right through Puerto Vallarta. Now there were mostly young people on the bus. I would say in their 20s and 30s, but there was a fair share of old folks like me. But I was the only gringo. I was it. That was me. And we were all on the roof, and there was this guy that was dressed up like a clown, and he was in charge. He was wired up with a microphone, and he was a funny guy. It was all done in Spanish, but it was his job to get the crowd happy and going and dancing and doing stuff. And as the bus was moving along, he busted out a bottle of tequila, which he poured into these little cups. These little plastic cups that his assistant passed around to everybody. And I looked around and I kind of noticed that some of these people looked a little young, but I don't know. What do I know? Everybody looks young to me. I'm freaking old. But that was fun. There was Latin music playing, sing-alongs. It was, it was current music. Everybody was singing along. It was really, really sweet. It was totally a Latin experience, I got to tell you. It was a great way to cool off because, we're up there on that deck and it was a cool evening. And you got the breeze going, right? Anyway, I have pictures and I'll try to post a video in the show notes. It was a lot of fun. It was $7.50 for like an hour and a half of some really, really, really fun times. Drinking and, sharing life with people I didn't know. It was a great time. If you're in town, you want to do that one day, if it's a little bit warm and you want to cool off, shoot, for $7.50, do it. I had a tequila tasting session while I was down with listener and contributor extraordinaire, Marty, and we were at his place. He always rents over at the Plaza Mar, and this was, this time was no exception. A great view, great spot, and Marty had a great selection of tequilas. Hey, these are the benefits, you guys, of doing a podcast. You know what I mean? I get to meet you guys. I get to drink with you guys. These are big. These are big benefits. So anyway, I got this email from Marty just a couple days after I got back. He and his wife Janine stayed a little bit longer than I did. Lucky dogs. Come on. Anyway. Marty writes, I spoke to the new owner / manager, I don't know exactly, of the new restaurant where El Torito's was located. They did a nice job remodeling and opened last week. His name, John, is from Texas, go figure, and sounds like he and perhaps a few others have other restaurants in Texas. They have a small menu, but he did say that they're considering a few other items. They had to get open, he said. I told them how much we liked the bucket o' peel and eat shrimp from El Torito's. And he said, hey, we buy shrimp for other things. We might even consider that. Suggest you might contact him on your next visit. They made some nice cosmetic changes, including getting rid of the cash cage that really brought paying a bill down to a crawl. Also, new tables, chairs, and lighting. He said the upstairs was also changed, but we didn't go and see that. Regards, Marty. Well, Marty, thank you. Thanks for another great email. Keep them coming. I did get a chance to get over there, and I met the new owner of the restaurant where the El Torito's was, and now it is called Texas Original Wings and Mucha Mas. And yes, the guy that you met is the owner, John, and I had an opportunity actually to get a quick interview from him. They had a soft grand opening, and JR was invited to attend, and he invited me. So yeah, there was a little bit of drinking involved, of course. And we sat upstairs. It was very, very nice. They did a great job. Yes, they did up there, Marty. Anyway, let's meet John real quick. Let's listen in. John, thanks for inviting me here today. Tell us a little bit about this. This used to be El Torito. What is it now?
It's now Texas Original Wings y Mucho Mas.
Ah, all right. So,
and thank you for coming, by the way, tonight.
I wouldn't have missed this for the world. Tell us what your menu's like.
Well, we've got quite a few items. It's like the name implies, Mucho Mas. We got wings, ribs, burgers. We got chicken tenders. We got Cajun seafood, and we've got great drinks. So good atmosphere. I think we got a little bit of everything for everybody.
I think you do too. And you got a little dance floor here. You kept it kind of a sports bar, right? Because you got all the TVs still, and you're working that angle, aren't you?
Absolutely. The top floor is pretty much more like with a bar theme, and the bottom's very restaurant. But nevertheless, we've got set up for everybody to come watch their favorite team and just come here and have a good time anytime.
Excellent. All right. So, where are you from, John?
Texas, as you might imagine.
Of course. So John knows how to cook.
Well,
barbecue,
at least
right?
knows how to a little bit about barbecue and things related too.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, listen, my listeners are going to be so happy to know that you have kept this a restaurant. You didn't turn it into a condo.
No, we that was a long story, but no, it is not a condo, and it won't be a condo anytime soon. We want to thank Felix and Reno for being gracious about all of that as well.
Ah, excellent. All right, well, I'll have some pictures, you guys, and you'll check them out in the show notes. You can find it at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. I'll have a picture of his menu so you can get an idea of what's going on there. And I'll even have a picture of John here, so you can see what he looks like. So
let's just give him a menu, okay, and save him that, okay.
There you go. I love you, John.
All right, we appreciate you coming out tonight.
Thanks for inviting me. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you, John. Anyway, John is a really, really, really nice man, and I mean, I ripped him away from his drink and food and friends so that we could just talk for a couple of minutes. So that's why it seemed a little bit rushed. But anyway, I had an opportunity while I was there to interview Eddie from American Learning Tree, and you are going to love Eddie. So stay tuned for that interview. That's going to be coming up in just a couple of weeks. So Marty, they did a great job on the inside of the place, like you said. Upstairs, just as nice. And hey, if you're lucky, maybe they'll bring back that bucket of shrimp. My twin brother Gary loves the bucket of shrimp, so he would love it if they did. And thank you again for the email and the tequila tasting and the kind hospitality, my friend. Really, really appreciate that. All right. I have a bunch of emails that I still need to answer. And if you haven't heard back from me, please be patient. My wife has been working me like a dog since I got home from my 10-day trip. And I deserve it, right? I mean, I'm home. It's time for me to work. I'm not retired like Marty. And anyway, we are so busy selling houses in California. I mean, really, I can't believe it. I mean, we're still locked down, and people want to live here, but people want to leave too. So we're selling their houses. We're moving them out of state. Anyway, I'm not complaining. By the way, it's good money. But what happens is it makes for spotty episodes going out of the podcast, and I apologize for it. I'm going to do better. I keep saying I'm going to do better, but I am. I'm going to do better. I promise. But please be patient. I gotta make some extra dough to pay for my next trip. And what do you know? I did. I made my reservation for my 5th trip down to Puerto Vallarta during the pandemic, and that's going to be in the first week of September. Right now, I'm firming up the Airbnb location, so I'll give you a rundown on the totals. But Delta Airlines out of LAX is costing me $280 round trip, nonstop. Plus I always pay another $35 for a checked bag, which I always bring with me full, and I always bring back with me empty. So the countdown and the excitement now begins. My departure date is set, just 90 days from today. Sounds like a long time, doesn't it? Goes fast. It really does. Anyway, in the meantime, let's get to our interview, shall we? As you know, I depend on all of you to tell me what you want to hear and who you want to hear from in Puerto Vallarta. And I get the best suggestions from you guys. I mean, thank each and every one of you for that. When I was down in January, I got an email while I was there from Jeff, and this is what it said. Hi, Barry. I know you're busy in Puerto Vallarta right now, but if you have a bit of time, could you go and check on the guys and gals over at Pinocho's bar and see how they're doing? Jorge and Felix are so awesome, and it's a hangout for us Canadians when we're down there. We met them when they used to work at the Circle Bar on the Malecon. Maybe they will give you an interview. Not sure, but they're a super bunch. The bar is at the corner of Naranjo and Lazaro Cardenas. Stay safe and looking forward to the podcasts when you get back. I just watched your vid on the hike to Las Animas Beach. Awesome job, and really enjoy your podcast since we usually head down there for 3 weeks, but not this year, I'm sad to say. Cheers, Jeff and Kim, Kamloops, British Columbia, Canada. And then they also say PV rocks. So, like a good drone, I went over to Pinocho's and I asked for Jorge and Felix because I've never met them before. And they introduced themselves to me, and they posed for a picture, which I could send over to Jeff and to Kim. And of course, while I was there, I asked if maybe they had a little time to talk with me for an episode, and Jorge said yes. He said, come back and we'll do it. And so later that night, I went back and I sent the picture that I took of Jorge and Felix to Jeff and Kim. And then I got back this email, which was pretty cute. It says, oh man, you just gave me chills, and I think I just cried a bit. Maybe because I'm not there to join you guys, but really it's a bit emotional that this is happening. My Kimmy and I are pumped to hear this interview. Please put in a plug for us Canadians. So I'm doing that right now. Attached are a couple of pics so they don't get us confused with some other drunken amigos from the north. We left them that Canadian sign. See the pic. So I've got a pic in the show notes, you guys. Check that out. They left the sign in 2019 to help decorate the new digs, but didn't get a chance to see Jorge last visit, February 2020, just before COVID. I think that you will see it when you go into the baño, he says. So he says, let them know that we miss them and that we will make it down as soon as we can, probably a year from now. That sucks now that I just said that. Don't lose your camera bag on this trip. Jeff and Kimmy. All right. Yeah, thanks for the reminder. No problem. I kept my bag on my shoulder this trip. Okay, amigo? Anyway, I stopped by a couple days later, and I sat down with Jorge while his brother Felix and the rest of the crew helped the dozen or so customers. And so anyway, I want you to listen. And while you're listening, I want you to really understand and listen to where Jorge has worked over the years. You will be amazed. And you will also be amazed when you go to Pinocho's, because the selection of spirits, including raicilla and the tequilas and the mezcals, are amazing. It is, it's amazing, the amount and the variety of booze that they have at this place. So let's go right now to the corner of Naranjo and Lázaro Cárdenas. Lázaro Cárdenas, $4.99, as a matter of fact, in the Emiliano Zapata neighborhood of Puerto Vallarta. And let's meet Jorge Enrique Rodriguez Avalos. You can call him George, at Pinocho's Bar, where there are no bad days. Yep, that's their motto. There are no bad days in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. Jorge, thanks for coming on the show today.
No, thank you for inviting me.
Tell us a little bit about yourself. Where are you from, and what was your path that led you to Puerto Vallarta?
Okay, I'm from Tuito, Jalisco, which is 1 hour south to PV. Born 1975 and raised part of my life in Tuito. I moved to PV for a high school back in 82, and I'm raised all my life in PV.
So, all right. So you left the farm and came to the big city.
Yes, and basically the family. Basically, my family was a farmer, so we grew on the farm. With cows, pigs, everything was at the farm, and then I moved to PV.
Excellent. All right. So,
okay.
When you got to PV, obviously you went to school here. When you got out of school, what did you start doing?
I went to the junior high school, but I like the school, but I like to do something else. So my old brother, his name is Carlos, he started working in nightclubs, the best nightclubs in PV. That time was Cactus nightclub, a Zoo nightclub, and Mogambo. So I like what he's doing, and I follow him. It's back in 1987.
1987. Oh, I remember Mogambos. I remember that. Carlos O'Brien's was still around too, I'm sure, right? And yeah.
Yes, O'Brien's. I never take a chance to go there because always I follow my old brother. So we do is work in nightclubs.
Okay, and so when you got done with the nightclubs, then what did you do?
Basically, I started to be a dishwasher. Then my brother hired me to be a barback. It was back in the 89 in Alcatraz, where Ciro's nightclub was before.
And so you were a barback. So as a barback, you're washing glasses, right? And you're hauling ice. You're doing all that stuff, right?
Basically, back in that time, barbacks, we washing with the dishwasher and take care of the bartender. Yeah. Take care of the back behind.
Yeah. Make sure all the guys that are making money are making money.
Exactly. Yeah. You can share. It's more work, is more money can give it to me. Yeah.
That's right. Because it comes back to you, right? All right. So now, where was that? That was in what place was that?
I was Alcatraz. It was right there with the Cuban, the famous Cuba place is now La Bodeguita del Medio place now.
Okay.
It was back in 89.
In 89. Excellent. Okay. So then, I mean, nothing lasts forever. So they closed. Then what happened?
Then closed and everything started changing in PB. So then when a big nightclub showed up, that was a Christine, 1990. So we moved to Christine, my brother and I, and I worked in another 2 years in Christine nightclub, barback with my brother. He started teaching me about everything doing on the bars. Basically, bartenders before we do inventories and everything. We're tracking all the booze behind the bar. So that was 1990, and we moved to big nightclub. It was opening. It was a Collage. We left Christine 1992 to move to Collage, and I do Collage for 7 years.
Collage. Where was Collage?
Collage is right in the marina, in the heart of the marina. It was the first big building and big nightclub right there. It was Collage. It was several restaurants. It was the first sushi bar right there inside, the bowling place, and with the nightclub. But the nightclub killed all the others, and we like 2,000 people a night for 5 years.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh my God! But those were the days. That was the 90s.
Yeah,
that was
Collage.
the 90s, right?
Yeah, Collage. It was still part of my life. We'd make tons of money there and made it a beautiful person. And I do there 7 years into the. We have to move.
Yeah.
I'm married, and then everything changed.
You figured it out, huh?
Yeah.
All right, so you got married, and Collage was over.
Yeah, Collage.
So then what?
Collage was over, so I'm gonna start all my friends from my generation, then traveling to the States, start moving, working there, open businesses there, and then invited me. So at that time was 1997, and I don't go to the States into 2000. It was 2011, but that was war whatever happened there, and I had to back. So I'm only in the States, in Chicago area, only for 7 months, living with my sister. Yes.
Did you work any bars while you were in Chicago?
I work in a place right in the town that's called Margarita. There is that's a Margarita, an Italian place in the same building. I work in the Margarita. That's a Puerto Rican food and Mexican food kind of fusion in an Italian place inside the same building. I don't remember the name of the place, Italian. I work in 6 hours in the Puerto Rican place and 4 hours part-time in Italian food.
Okay, so you were busy when you were in the States, at least just for the 7 months.
Yeah,
so.
just 7 months, yeah. And then I decided to come back and miss my family, and I decided to come back, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so then something else happened, right?
Then after I'm back, and I take a chance, Lake Leaf. I know the owns Lake Leaf place, so then hired me because then having really good food, fantastic food at that time. It was seafood place, 100%. But then need the people can know about wines, about cocktails, everything. So I came for Lake Leaf and working 14 months, sharing all the menu drinks, and I'm finished there because I had to move to learn more about cheese and more food. So I moved to Trio Restaurant with Bernardo Wolf. Yeah, I was working with Bernardo Wolf 2003 to 2008.
Wow, really? So you learned how to cook, huh?
Yes, I'm always interested about food, everything, all the ingredients, all the good ingredients. I know how can I make beer. I know how can I make a tequila. I know how can I make a mezcal. I'm learning, and finally I moved to my brother Carlos. He has such a beautiful place right in the heart of the town, That's called Plaza Malecon. Inside is a flea market there. Inside the flea market there is a special bar. Is and say is the best bar on town. They got everything you want and everything what you're looking for, you find it right there. So I working for my brother 7 years until I have to start my own drink.
So that place is like right at the end of the Malecon, right?
Yes, it's just when the beginning of the Malecon, there's McDonald's always. In between McDonald's and the Cuban place, there is a flea market that's called Plaza Malecon.
Yeah.
So inside there is a kiosk or circle bar. So yes, I do there 7 years with my brother Felix too, of course.
Uh-huh.
And we worked together there for 7 years. And my brother tried to stay there. I had to be a little bit bigger, and I decided to move.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Circle Bar.
Circle bar, yeah. Circle bar is kind of those bars you have to find in your life for a cocktail, for the best margaritas, and I learned everything I know. I learned it from my brother.
Yeah.
My brother. His name is Carlo. Yeah.
And
he's
so,
my teacher. Yeah.
And so you and your younger brother then went off to do something else.
Yeah, I went off. Was 2017. We don't have that much money, so I'm started looking for a small place, cheaper rent, can pay, but just to restart it. So we find a small hall right beside the municipal flea market. It was in the heart of the town, in the island Quale. So we there renting cheap. We stayed there for 2 years, making really successful, good, and follow all the school. Basically, I do all the school.
Old school work.
Old school. I do fusion, but I don't like to do too much fusion on the and the cocktail because the base always is old school.
Right, sure it is. Yeah. And that's how you built it. I mean, that's how you went and did that.
Yes, building there, and where we decide we got a few more pesos in our pockets, and we decide to get bigger. So we start looking at places. I really like Versailles. I like to be in the hood. I like Cinco de Diciembre, but I don't find nothing for whatever we try to build in. So finally, I'm finding this guy here. His name is, my landlord is Richie. We're talking about his place, and finally, we get here, and we change a lot of the hood because we bring a lot of business in this area now.
Yeah, and it's not always the busiest area in Lázaro Cárdenas. And
no, I heard a lot of comments before we here, and this, but I know I follow my hair, I follow everything I learned in my life about food, about booze, about cocktails, so I'm here, and we making it successful. Yeah, we here only 1 year to 3 months, but with the pandemic, we have to close 4 months. So I see only 1 year so far.
Sure.
And people start following us, yeah.
Yeah, wow. All right, so you are on, what's the name of the streets, the cross street here?
The main street that's running south and north is Lázaro Cárdenas, and east to west, Naranjo. So right there in the corner, 449.
Excellent. Okay, so you're serving food here?
I do, basically, my license is a restaurant bar. Like now, because the pandemic, I'm serving food. I do tacos, I do whatever they want. But what I like to do is share everything with people. We're making potluck the first Sunday every month. I try to get all my people, all my family, all my clients involved in whatever we're doing. And once a year, we make an appreciation party. It's back to my hometown to say thank you, everybody, for supporting us. Yeah.
What kind of clientele you got? You got a lot of Canadians here.
99% of my clients, I don't call it clients, I call family, because that's what I've seen my people. I like to touch, and I like to touch each other, to talking about not only serving, be more involved about in our lives and about the community and everything. So I feel like in a big family, Pinocho's family, of course. Yeah.
We're not Americans, Mexicans, Canadians. We're all just family.
No, I got really good families, clients from America, USA. I got a good client from Canada. I got good Mexican clients. Part of my family follow me too. We call it familia. We call Pinocho's familia. That way we call it. Yeah. And I like to be more and more people involved in whatever we want and whatever our dream us. Yeah. So I always telling people, my family, what I want.
What's the secret to having a full bar like this?
I think the secret is number one is my staff, Felix, Sandra, Andres, and I'm a part of the staff, and I working behind the bar. People say you're the boss, but I don't feel like I'm the boss. I'm a part of the great family here, and I always keep clean 100% and keep my staff happy. That's my best point of my business. My staff can be 100% happy.
That's a good way to do it, you know?
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit. I mean, you have flags all over the place on the ceilings. I'm sure that these probably came to you from your friends, from your family here.
All the stuff I got inside the bar, flags, t-shirts, signs, everything is came for the family. I almost don't buy nothing on my decoration inside. Everything is a gift from people all over the world because UK, England, a lot of people came and give me a gift. My responsibility with that gift is keep it, don't sell it, and put it on the walls when the ceiling.
Nice, yeah. All right, well, you're running out of room, so if you're going to do this, do it while you can, guys. I mean, come on, there's just a little space left here. All right, so let's just take a quick trip. Let's go out into town. Let's go talk about food, because this is the thing that my listeners love the most, and we all travel on our stomachs. And so I ask all of my guests what their favorite breakfast, lunch, and dinner places are in town. So you are no different. You are no different. So tell me what you like.
My favorite place to go for breakfast is, of course, a local place where the people we grew up, with the people I know for a long time. My favorite one is Café de Olla for breakfast. Café de Olla. I like to be there because I feel like at home, because I know the whole staff. Many people there, we work together back in the 90s. For lunch, I can say for lunch, my favorite place is my house because my wife cooks for me every day.
You gotta tell that there, brother.
And for dinner,
is your wife must be a great cook?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure, she is. Yeah. The dinner, I like Italian food a lot. Like I love tacos. First, I can do tacos and then Italian food. My favorite place now is a good friend. That's called Bella Napoli. But that's many. But I can say I'm gonna stay with Bella Napoli because, like I say, I like to feel like at home. So Bella Napoli, I know all the stuff, and I say, hey, here, there, but La Traviata, it was a great business. Great Italian food, La Traviata. It's too many to can remember all the names, but they can be my favorite ones. Yeah.
Right. So it sounds like just about any Italian restaurant is just fine with you around here. No. Because there's a ton of them. If you were going to go get a steak, I mean, price was no object. You're going to go out and get yourself a nice, delicious steak. Where would you go?
Okay. Well, my favorite place was La Vaca, Argentina. Now it's closed.
No, it's not closed, is it?
Yeah.
No, the one next door is closed. It's open.
No, they shut down everything.
Did?
All there is shut down.
Oh, yikes. So, okay.
Yeah, so it was La Vaca, Argentina, but it's a really good Sonora grill. It was in the marina, right in the corner, in the entry, right in the corner. Sonora grill is my second favorite place to stay. Yeah.
Okay, so what about seafood? If you were going to go for a seafood dish, where would you go, man?
Seafood dish, my favorite seafood dish is pescado zarandeado. And my favorite pescado zarandeado for many years, I can say 25 years, is boca de tomates. I hope never disappear. It's right before Nayarit State, before with the bridge, and our bridge is to the left. 15 minutes, you'll be there, right in the beach. Beautiful zarandeado.
So, which Ramada do you go to?
The Ramada always I went to. That's called nobody knows the name because the real name that's Rodrigo. Is the first one to the beginning.
Okay, so the first one is south or north?
South.
The first one's south. Okay, so that's the one that you hit.
Yeah.
And that's the one you like, the zarandeado. Okay, bueno. All
I
right.
like the way they cook it. Before that was mangle, but the mangle is protected now because they had to be protected because the sterile. But
Yeah.
now they use a roble, that's like a Mexican willow, and use encino, but it's making a really good smoke. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Okay. Very good. Surrendiado. How about a hole in the wall? You got like a little tiny little place that you would just never think would be worth even stopping at, but you were totally surprised.
A hole in the wall.
Yeah.
I can say a hole in the wall. You can say my brother's bar in Plaza Malecon is the best, fantastic. You ask all my family around here, they can have a great time right there, and nobody know where it is because it's no publicity. It's not. It just people talking about the bar, and that can be my favorite one. Can say my second one.
Yeah.
Okay, my second one, there is a really, really small bar. It's just in between Sheraton Hotel and the stadium. That's called Dos de Oros. It was great bands, great music, but then making a really good soups and a really good cold beer. Then sell it by Caguamas.
Really?
So that's
Ah.
my second one, yeah. Dos de Oros.
Dos de Oros.
Actually, he owns name is Edgar. He's a good friend of mine.
Okay.
Yeah, we spent a great time there too, yeah.
So that Malecon bar that your brother has, that's in that little. It's like you would walk right past it. It's like a plaza. You see these two doors, and then you walk right off of the Malecon into this other plaza, which is another shopping area.
Okay, I can give you the address right away. My brother bar is also McDonald's in the beginning, the Malecon. Just walking around only 25 steps, in the left side, and it's a big green door, UB entry. That's the Plaza Malecon Free Market, and it's just right there. It's a small kiosk, but if you try to find any liqueur, any mezcal, any charanda, anything, you go with my brother. And good raicilla too, like I got it too, and good mezcal. We like to support a small raicilla production and a small mezcal production. Myself, I got a mezcal from Guerrero, course Oaxaca, Michoacan, and Zacatecas. It's not bottled. I buy by liters and resell it.
Ah, okay. Oh, really? So you sell raicilla?
I do.
Dude, all right, everybody. All right, you know where to go. You know where to go for your raicilla. And he sounds like he's got a selection here. If you were going to leave town for just a day and come back, where would you go?
Okay, there's my friend Javier. He got the older restaurant in Tuito. He's running for 38 to 40 years. The restaurant name is Rosita. It's right there by the square. Every time I come there and take my family and my people to that place. They're making really good chilaquiles. I don't say omelets because they don't have the omelette. They're making a really good chilaquiles. Try soup, birria, and a chilaquiles. The best in Tuito for me,
Okay.
especially.
Excellent, excellent.
And for drinks, there is a bar which we love it. That's called the Corner Bar. It was the older house in Tuito, 400 years, and it's still the same concept, making a bar, but then open only 6 o'clock to midnight. And the owner of the bar is Mochi, my friend. So he working lots in the cars from right at the place, to the open to the close. So he got really good reputation.
Machi.
Yeah.
Munchie. Okay. So he was at Carlos O'Brien's
He was at Carlos
from the
O'Brien.
beginning to the end, huh? Wow. Wow.
And he decides to move to Tuito because a quiet life, you know.
Yeah.
After working several years in nightclubs, whatever, too noisy, everything. He was
Time to go. Time
Yeah.
to go. I gotta go check him out. Every time I'm down there, though, it's the wrong time of day. I'm usually on my way out of town.
Yeah,
by the
right
time
in
he
the corner
opens.
before you turn to Maito Highway, whatever. Yeah, right in the corner. Yeah.
Yeah. And it is a very rustic inside. It looks like it's 400 years old. It really does.
It is.
It's amazing. It is amazing.
Yeah.
How about a 3-day? Where would you go if you had 3 days off?
You gotta. I'm a local guy, 100% local guy. If you have 3 days, I go to Maito. I go. My favorite beach with my family is Punta Perula, which is south, 2 hours from here. Actually, it's 100 and PB to Perula is 127 kilometers,
Uh-huh.
so which in 2 hours right there. Beautiful beach. Always I'm stopping at Cheche Palapa. We're serving really good food, really good prices and the beverage. So and his friend is a friend to me. Always I'm full of friends because I like to be that way.
Friends need to help friends.
If
Sure.
I go north, I go San Pancho, 100%.
Yeah.
For me, better than Sayulita now.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people are saying the same thing because
Yeah.
Sayulita seems to have turned into Disneyland, and people want to kind of avoid it. Although, if you want to get a really good contact high, just walk down the street. So it's all good. It's all good. Smoke the weed while you're going down the street just by breathing. So, if you had a word of advice for a first-time visitor coming to Puerto Vallarta, what would it be?
Okay, that's many options. We want to be, of course, at the Pinocho's bar.
Absolutely.
The second one can be to my brother bar.
Okay.
And the third one is many restaurant, but in PTL, Sucho opening now a beautiful seafood place that's called El Huacho. Huachinango, that's mean the red snapper. And if you go for a breakfast, Café de Olla, and there's 1 year ago, a Meño's place is right there para 5 de diciembre. If you go for after hour drinks, there's many different places, La Terraza, Bar Morelos. But if you go for the whole day spend, came to Pinocho's bar and do whatever you want and order whatever you want. And if you don't have it, we find it for you.
Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Any words of warning? Any words of warning for a first-time person coming here to Puerto Vallarta?
Well, so far I don't have to worry nato. Like I say, my family follow us here. We're not making great like was last year, talking about money, but we making good. And the only one they want is the pandemic is over, whatever. But you guys, we safe here with us. We follow the protocols and everything, and we try to be safe. And I only worry about something is about my staff. To keep going, it's still open, and support each other.
Yeah, absolutely. We all need to do that. And yes, one day this pinchy COVID will be over. Let's come back to Pinocho. Tell us again, what is your address?
My address is Lázaro Cárdenas in Naranjo Street, 449. The telephone number is 322-285-71.
Okay, very good. And what? And you're on Facebook, yes?
Yes, that's the Facebook page is Pinocho's Bar, just like that. Pinocho's Bar.
Pinocho's Bar. Okay, well, I'll have links to that. They'll be in the show notes. I'll have pictures of Pinocho's Bar, inside and out. I will have a picture of Jorge's smiling face and his brother, who is busy as you know what, working and helping everybody else while we're talking here today. What's your brother's name?
Felix.
Felix. Okay, so I'm going to have Jorge and Felix on the cover, on the album cover of this podcast, and so you look for that, and of course you'll find all of that stuff online in my show notes over at www.puertovallartatravelshow.com. Is there anything you want to add before we say goodbye today?
Yes. Thank you for all the people support to this bar, to my family, to my staff. Thank you so much, and I'm waiting for anytime. You're so welcome. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jorge, for allowing me to introduce you and Pinocho Bar to my listeners. I truly appreciate it. All right. Thank you, Jorge. Thank you so much. I have pictures, and I have a map, and I have links in the show notes that will take you right to Pinocho's Bar in Puerto Vallarta. And Jorge and Felix and the whole crew do a terrific job. They really, really make you feel like you are at home. It's an amazing bar. It's like Cheers. It's Cheers for you Canadians. Where are you Canadians? Come on down. Let's see. Oh, by the way, Jorge is opening another branch of Pinocho's in El Tuito. He's got this beautiful open air space, and he's working on it, and he's putting it all together, and he hopes that by October, he will be able to have a grand opening and be ready to open for the high season that we are expecting to come in the year 2022. Anyway, more reasons to take that day trip up to El Tuito next time you're in Puerto Vallarta to get plowed and plastered and drink raicilla closer to the source. You know what I mean? Anyway, we're going to take you there for sure the next time I go down to Puerto Vallarta and up into El Tuito. All right. Well, that should do it for this week. Next week, I want you to stay tuned for more on-the-ground reports from Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, with travel tips, great restaurant excursion ideas, and more. But until then, remember that this is an interactive show where I depend on your questions and your suggestions, just like Jeff and Kimmy, about all things Puerto Vallarta. If you think of something that I should be talking about, well, please reach out to me. Click on the Contact Us tab and send us a message. And remember, if you're considering booking any type of tour while you're in Puerto Vallarta, you must go to vallartainfo.com. That's JR's website, and reserve your tour through him. Really, get out there and reserve your tour through JR, right from his website. It's a value-for-value proposition. JR's experience and on-the-ground knowledge of everything Puerto Vallarta in exchange for your making a purchase of a tour that you would do anyway. You're just doing it through him as a way of saying thank you. Thanks, JR, for being our guide. It costs no more than if you were going to use someone else. So do it, really. And when you do take one of those tours, email me about your experiences. Maybe you can come on board and share with others what you liked or didn't like about the tour. Again, contact me by clicking on the Contact Us tab and sending off a message. And don't forget, he's got his maps, he's got his DIY tours, his revitalized happy hour board, and more. And I have links to all of those in the show notes. And once again, if you like this podcast, please take the time, subscribe, and give me a good review wherever you happen to be listening to this show. If you would, that way we can get the word out to more and more people. Hey, tell your friends. That's the way to get the word out to more and more people about the magic of this place, Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. And remember, I made it easy for you to do just that with every episode I create. If you haven't been to my website, you gotta go there. You need to take a look. I have links to the places we talk about. I have interesting pictures and more right there in my blog posts and in the show notes for each show. So check them out for sure if you haven't already. All right? All right. I want to thank you, Jorge. Thanks for talking with me from Pinocho's Bar, where there are no bad days. That's right, none. Next time you're in paradise, go there, have a drink, have fun, meet a Canadian. You're going to have a great time, I promise. Thank you, Jeff and Kim from Kamloops. Thank you so much. I can't wait to hoist a cold one with both you guys next time you return to Puerto Vallarta. I'm buying, okay? All right. And thanks to everyone for listening all the way through this episode of the Puerto Vallarta Travel Show. This is Barry Kessler signing off with a wish for you to slow down, be kind, and live the Vallarta lifestyle. Nos vemos, amigos.
Solo camino, verlo por la playa, me encuentro junto al río, cuando todo está en calma, pronto cae la noche, me brillas Puerto Vallarta.